Hi guys, it's Luke. I just wanted to take a second and thank you for listening to our first ever podcast. If you haven't already, go to the links in the channel homepage and follow us on Spotify, Anchor, and Apple Podcasts. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel for some exclusive content. Anyways, on to the show.
Okay. Hi everyone, welcome to the Social Distance, the first episode.
Oh my gosh, it's happening.
I don't
Our
know
many
how to
listeners get to hear.
We're all here in
Shout
one
out to
place
Sweden.
finally. Oh yes.
well, we're we're not in
Hello
one
to
place.
5% Sweden, if you're listening. Thank you for being such a lifelong fan from 2018 till now.
For only 2 of the members of this podcast, but
Yeah.
you'll like our friends too, don't worry.
Okay, well, I think. Okay, so basically, we're structuring this this is just kind of an intro podcast, so you kind of understand who the people you're listening about like stuff are, I guess. So we have prepared some icebreaker questions.
Yeah, we'll just kind of have a place to
Stay in
put
your
our
lane,
thoughts
Luke.
out.
Stay in your
Yes.
lane.
I guess we'll see how this is an adventure. We'll see how this podcast goes
Yeah.
Right.
in the course of time.
Yep.
Anyways, we should probably at least introduce whoever's on this.
Yeah, for sure. In lace order.
Okay.
Go.
So I'm Luke. I'm
Hi, Luke.
just saying my name. I don't know. This isn't clear.
Okay. The next person in the lace order has to grill you. How old are you, Luke?
I'm 17 currently.
Okay, I was gonna ask where you live, but
Well, I'm not going to tell people that.
Okay, in what general vicinity do you live, Luke?
Let's just say I live in St. Paul, Minnesota.
What do you do for fun?
Generally, I play soccer and mess around with computers. More,
And how do you know the rest of us?
Well,
Ace, if you will.
yeah. I've gone to school with you guys for the past 3 years.
There you
Cool.
have it.
It's pretty good.
I'm Aaliyah.
And that means I have to grill you. How old are you, Leah?
I'm 18.
An
Oh,
adult. Wow.
Yeah, I know.
What do you like to do for fun?
Like to be outside, like to hang out with my family. I like to go thrifting at Goodwill with my pals.
Amen.
Like driving in the car, listening to music.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have any like talents, so I have to find like things that don't require talents to do for fun. So yeah.
Sweet. I'm Claire. I'm the C in lace.
All right, Claire. How old are you?
I'm 17.
What is your top 2 hobbies?
Ooh.
My
Ooh.
top 2 hobbies are eating and watching
But only-
video essays on YouTube.
I like that.
Okay. Okay.
Those
She's
are the things-
quirky.
when I'm really being honest with myself with what I actually do. I can't say like embroidering because I did that for like 2 days.
Right.
My real hobbies are eating and video essays.
If we're going off
Sweet.
of time usage,
Right. Yeah.
it's a lot more honest.
True. Okay.
All right. Yeah, I don't really have any more questions for you. I wasn't prepared
That's
for
fine.
this. And then I'm Evan. No
Hi,
one
Evan.
comes. No one comes after me, so I either.
No,
So I
I
guess
have to.
Luke-
I have to.
No, Luke
will
has
grill
to
me.
grill.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Evan, how old are you?
I'm 18.
Okay.
Woot.
Do you have a general vicinity where you live?
No.
Oh, wow. Mystery man.
The world.
Mr. Worldwide.
he's our class pitbull. Anyways,
I
okay.
have a house
It's actually
on-
ironic because Evan, out of all of us, is the most likely to have the same average position on Earth, like
Very
throughout his
right.
lifetime.
Very true. Okay.
If I
and
never leave well, shoot.
if
If I never leave
Oh!
Minnesota.
I know exactly where you live, and still my brain was like Minnetonka. Even though that's
Manitoba, Canada.
There you go.
Anyways.
Got
Okay,
it.
and Evan, what are your top 3 hobbies?
Let's see. I'll say piano,
Okay.
and then maybe just like music in general.
Okay.
So like composition. I just started guitar. And then 3, probably gaming.
Gaming. Okay. So you're a creative boy. You're
No, those are
always
real hobbies.
yeah. Honestly, though,
Yeah, I feel threatened.
yeah, driving or playing the piano.
Hmm.
Driving is just such a good hobby, though. I love it.
It's
Yeah.
true.
You don't even have to be good.
I know.
Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you guys good drivers? Well,
I never
Oh,
go over
shoot.
the speed limit unless
I-
if I'm passing someone, and I've never been
Yeah.
in an accident that wasn't my fault.
I just
I-
realized how
I
awkward
thought I
it
was
is
a
that
good
I
driver.
Accident that was my fault.
Oh,
asked.
well, I've never been in an accident, so
Hmm.
I thought I was a good driver, but apparently certain people in this group don't think so.
What?
And I was never aware of it until recently.
That's not. Wait, are you referring to Luke and I?
I'm referring to Luke saying that I was a terrible driver
What?
after I got back from Europe.
No, yeah, because I was like,
That
I
was
just
in
think you have
20
a
never
particular
forgot
That was in
style.
2017. You weren't a good driver.
No,
That's like so long
no.
ago.
She
Dude,
hasn't
that was
had
this
her
summer.
license since
That was not this
2017.
summer,
That's
was it?
impossible. She was
Luke-
15 years old.
I know when I went to Europe, that was this summer, and you told
Okay.
me about that like a week ago.
I told you about that like 2 months ago, and that was only for
Okay.
like the first 2 weeks you got back. After that, like it
But
totally
that's
smoothed
such
out.
a long time. Okay.
We're
Yeah.
moving on.
I'm
We're
willing,
moving
yeah, I'm
on.
willing to put that behind me.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Anyways, okay. Let's move on to our icebreaker questions.
Yeah, so here's the idea we had for this episode. Just to, in case there's, worldwide listeners who don't know us, we're going to go through, we each came up with an icebreaker question, and all of us are going to have to answer those questions, and we don't know what the questions are ahead of time. So we have not prepared anything. We'll see how this goes. And of course, we're going in lace order. So
Okay.
Luke gets to go first, and then we'll all answer.
Okay. So, my question: what is your guys' ideal setting for getting work done? So it could be
That's
school.
Oh,
it
Luke,
could-
that's so good.
That's
It
topical.
could be like schoolwork.
Oops.
It could
For
be
quarantine.
like hobby work or whatever. Like, what is the environment that you all feel the most comfortable in? And I guess why do you feel comfortable there?
Okay.
Okay, also I was gonna ask, could we like go down lace order like from that person and the person can answer last?
Yeah,
Sure,
I was thinking that too.
That works.
I'm not trying to put myself first because I don't
Let's
even
make
know.
this
I'm
as
just,
structured as possible. I love
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
We love structure.
If you're following
Um,
along at home, you can keep going through the lace and we'll just never miss a person.
Yeah, people like skip past certain people. Like, oh, I don't like her answers, so I'm gonna skip forward. Okay. My ideal, I'm not trying to sound philosophical here, but I would say that my ideal work environment is less of like a presence of things and more of an absence of things.
Okay.
So I mean, they've done studies on this and it's true. I'm just dumber if my phone is in the room.
Mhm.
That needs to be gone. I need to have like a clear desk and just like be really focused on the task at hand. I think it really varies day to day though. Some days I really just, the only place I can really focus is in my room, and other days I need to get out and be in a different environment. But definitely silence. I don't do super well with bustling noise, which is not ideal for my family situation. But
Hmm.
yeah,
Okay. That's really cool. Okay, so
Good
uh,
it's not, but I
you know what?
appreciate
It is okay.
No,
I'm
I
gonna
think that's good
moderate my
stuff to hear.
question. Okay.
Oh, okay.
No, well, Claire, you had something to say though. So
Well,
Claire's
it's my
trying to-
turn
next
next. I was
anyway.
I was just gonna go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say.
I just
go.
feel like this is very topical and good because we've all had a head start on working from home because we've done it our whole lives.
exactly.
And
Uh,
now the whole world has to figure out how to work from home.
Okay,
Anyways.
for the listeners, we do all of us are homeschooled. We do this interesting program It's kind of like college, but it's high school curriculum essentially. So we have all had practice throughout our entire
We
high school
go
career of
we
just
go
sitting
one
at
full
home.
day a week. We
Yeah.
go one full day a week, and then we're independent for the rest of the week. But
Yep.
we can get more into that later.
Yep.
Right.
Just so
We
people have
need to-
context, though.
We'll have a whole series on educational philosophy
Oh
later.
yeah.
Oh yes, because we
The
all have
classical method.
philosophy. Oh, I would hate
No.
us if I were listening right now.
No.
I have to be honest with you, but all right.
So, okay, here's how I usually work. It kind of depends on the day, but if I'm writing, I need to have some sort of background noise. So, like, I work best at a coffee shop, which is kind of unfortunate right now. Or if I have, like, some sort of instrumental playlist, I'll just play that in the background, and then I can get really into a rhythm of writing. But for things like math or physics or something, that type of thing is really a distraction, and so I have to be more focused without any. And if I have my phone with me during physics, game over, because it does not hold my
Yes.
long enough. And then all of a sudden I'm on Snapchat again, and I didn't mean to be.
Mm.
So
Yep.
I think it's more about like knowing how to work each subject for me. I generally go from my desk to a coffee shop to my couch usually, but it's more about like if I have headphones in or not, how that works.
Right.
You mean AirPods?
Yeah, not headphones.
Just get it out in the open in the first episode. Claire's AirPods, and the rest of us
I am
don't.
privileged.
Yeah, but some of us don't care about AirPods. Just saying.
High privileged. I'm dad.
Is it more privileged to think you're better than AirPods or to just accept AirPods? That's the real
Oh,
question.
that could be
Well,
a whole episode.
AirPods
that could be a
suck,
whole
so-
episode.
Okay.
Okay, we're
move
not.
Yeah.
Luke is not allowed to go on that tangent right now.
Oh yeah.
All right. Fevin.
Seven.
All right. My ideal place to study. I typically like studying in like the chair upstairs in my living room because everyone else stays downstairs. I can't listen to music while I study or have any
Interesting.
noise.
Interesting.
Right. You'd think as
No,
someone
it makes sense.
as someone who's into music, I would like to listen to music while I'm studying. But the thing is, if I listen to music while I'm studying, I pay attention to the music.
Right, because
And
you're
not
actually
my work.
dissecting it.
Right. I'm actually picking apart what's happening and things that I can learn from it. So I like to work in just like complete silence. But also, since my dad doesn't work from home anymore, well, I guess he is forced to for the next 2 weeks now. But his new job, he doesn't have to work from home, so his office is available, and that is like I just really like the feel of the room. It's nice and secluded, and it's not very busy.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
There's
The
nice
vibe
things,
does matter.
right?
Vibe matters 1,000%.
Way more
Right.
than I thought it would.
It's the best vibe in our house, pretty much. So
10 out of 10 best vibe.
Right.
yeah,
Pretty much the best vibe I've ever felt.
it's like the best vibe ever. Anyways,
Uh,
yeah. So I'd say my dad's office is my new favorite place to
Mm.
study.
Cool.
Okay,
Cool.
that's cool. Enjoy that.
And we're back
Okay.
to Snookus.
Okay, that. Anyways, okay. So let me review my own question. That's awkward. Okay, what is your ideal setting for getting work done? My ideal setting varies a lot. So I have a big family, not as big as some of the people here, but big enough. So some days it's really just like me sitting alone at my clean white desk in my room and just like grinding away at a book or physics or math or something like that. But other days my room is maybe not the cleanest place, or I'm just cannot focus for the life of me. So that's where I'm going to the downstairs table or the downstairs den/family room area, which has a desk in it. And I don't know, a lot of the background noise helps.
Yeah.
I find that sometimes I need the background noise to stimulate myself. And something I've learned about my work habits is I basically have 25 to 30 minutes of like hardcore productivity before I need to take a mental break, because I have a tendency to go commit to something way too much, and then all of my brain is there and I need to step back, otherwise I just die.
There's science behind that.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm like 99% sure.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
That's a great quote.
There's
There's
science behind
science
that.
behind that. I'm like 99% sure.
just like the person that just confidently is like, there's science behind that. Nobody likes them. There's one at every party, but nobody likes them.
It's probably me. I'm
No,
sorry.
Actually, I'm pretty sure that there's like science behind that.
Okay.
So just an update for the people on this podcast. We're already at 16 minutes. So I
Oof.
propose that we just keep going and not worry as much about the time because I don't
Okay.
want to shortchange anyone's questions.
Sure.
Okay.
But that's
Right.
not really what we originally talked about.
Oh, and also we're just for the audience. We're recording this on Zoom, and we're cheapos, and we don't have a paid account right now.
Oh,
So
I
we have a
forgot about
40-minute
that.
free trial. I can get
Well-
around that with editing, so it's not a big deal. But just so y'all know, I mean,
We're
Sure.
recording this in 40-minute
yeah,
sections.
yeah, we have a 40-minute limit, but we have ways to get around
At least right now, because my new pen pal is using Zoom.
that. her new pen pal is weirdly enough is my brother. That's another story for another time.
We've been having
Not going
we've
to
been
that.
having I'll just say we've been having riveting conversations until a couple of days ago just ended with an email that simply said I would ride a unicorn, and that was the end. So
It's an effective way to cut off a relationship.
oh yeah, that's probably exactly what happened. All right. So then my question is next? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Okay, so my question for you guys, which looking at it now is kind of funny because it kind of combines all the things that I love. What has been your guys' best family meal since being quarantined? And we could be
Oh.
talking conversation, we could be talking actual food. Maybe it just hit the spot. Maybe it was the right time of day. Just, I want to hear about it.
Best family meal.
Yeah,
Can I say best family meal and then best meal?
sure, Evan, because we all know what that
Okay, I'm so sorry. You're going to have to repeat that again to me. My Wi-Fi cut out.
Oh,
But I'm
fine.
on the right one now. But I just have to
Okay.
answer it first, so I need to know.
Okay.
My question?
Yeah.
Okay, best family meal since quarantine.
Since quarantine. Okay.
So like the last week.
Got it.
Well, for some of us, some of our parents are more aggressive, so.
Right, yeah. Oh,
I
it's
know
been like
it
2
was
weeks.
more
for us.
like, let's see, a week ago from last Friday.
Yeah.
That's when the governor ordered the no to 50 people.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. I think
Anyway.
it was last night for us.
Okay.
My mom made spaghetti. Her spaghetti sauce is really, really
Oh,
good.
Yeah.
And she had Caesar salad and enough of it. And Caesar salad is like one of my favorite foods ever. So I like hadn't eaten since lunch, so I was good and hungry.
Mm,
And it was just the most satisfying meal. Not necessarily just because of taste, but just because of how like I ate the right amount where I was full but not too full.
being good and hungry, man, it
It
makes
really
everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then after dinner I had a bowl of caramel waffle cone ice cream, which is my favorite flavor. And that
Oh,
was
wow.
amazing.
That sounds amazing. That does sound amazing.
It was just like, and I had a cup of decaf coffee after dinner too.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Honestly, just
Dang,
hitting
that was
all
like
of the
just
marks.
the best.
Okay,
Wow.
for the listeners, Claire makes really, really good espresso, and we each have our orders that we put in when we
Mhm.
go and sit at her counter. It's
Although that was just Dunkin' decaf in a pot. So
Oh.
Oh.
not as
the
good as
listeners,
espresso,
the
but
listeners
it's
don't
still
need
really
to know
good.
that.
Yeah, well, okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, thanks for sharing, Claire.
Thank you.
Evan, how about yourself? And I know that you wanted to answer in 2 parts. I will allow that because I want you to talk about what you're going to talk about.
Okay. Let's see. I'll just say, okay. Yesterday, we had our co-op day, and I decided to make a grilled cheese. And my grilled cheese consisted of pepper jack, cream cheese, and blackberry jelly on a like really good Italian sliced bread. And It was so good that I had it again for lunch today.
Oh wow.
And
You really
Man.
did that.
I really did it. And I shouldn't have. It made my stomach hurt, but oh well.
Was it as enjoyable the second time?
Even more so because I put more jelly on it. Yes.
Okay.
I put more jelly
See,
on it and more cream
Claire
cheese,
and I,
it was
you know
even
that
better.
Claire and I, we debate this. Do you have a second? Is that morally right?
No, I would say it's definitely okay to eat one the next day.
The
Two
next
of those
day?
sandwiches in one day, though,
Two
would
of those
be-
sandwiches in one day would be too much.
Yeah,
that,
Do you
that
guys-
does sound too much.
that's too much joy for one moment, and it kills the
Right. Yeah.
kills the level of joy, I guess.
In this case, if the cup is running over, that's not good.
I guess it's kind of like supply and demand, but just in terms of your own happiness.
That's very
Yeah.
true. I even feel like though sometimes I feel like having something that good 2 days in a row like feels wrong to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
if
I
really?
struggle
eat
with
something
like
big for breakfast. I'll eat it every single day for a month for breakfast.
Right. I'll
Yeah,
do that.
AKA
same,
avocado
same.
toast.
breakfast is
I
different.
wish I had a supply of avocados for a month. I do not.
Oh my word. Avocado toast just gets me every time. There was one day there I was actually crying, like tearing up because it was so good. And because I was
Speaking
so blessed to know what I was going to eat.
Speaking of things hitting the spot, avocado toast tops it all every time. I don't know if it's
Seriously.
a texture or the combination
science,
of,
I
of the
think,
carb.
because
Yeah,
I'm
there's
99%
science.
sure there's
There's
science.
science behind that.
No, because it's like carbs and fat, and it's like the texture
Exactly.
of everything together.
It's
And it's
amazing.
hot
think-
in the
okay.
morning.
And you need some acid and heat in there too, because then you'll have a real kickin' sandwich. Like,
You put
Yeah. Oh my gosh, balsamic on the top, maybe.
oh my word,
is garlic
okay.
and acid? No, it's not, right?
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah,
There's
I put a lot of
vinegar.
garlic in it. In my avocado
Oh,
toast.
oh,
and then
Oh,
I
I
put
thought you
it
said
on the
garlic
top.
and acid. That's not it. And I'm like, yeah, garlic and acid would be.
Oh no,
amazing.
garlic isn't an acid though, right?
What'd you have for breakfast? Oh, just some garlic and acid.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
It's my
Um,
favorite,
yeah,
it's my
Speaking of
favorite
hitting the
breakfast,
spot.
TBH.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a good French loaf, a nice thick
Mm.
slice of French loaf, some garlic, some avocado, some balsamic, and some like red chili peppers.
Can
Yes,
you tell
there
who
you
the
go.
foodies here are and who is not? I think you can.
Like,
Meanwhile,
because
Luke's
Luke
eating his
just-
gas station
Okay.
chicken sandwich.
Luke
Guys,
just inhales food. for the
Food is
calories.
fuel. It is nothing more. You live with
Oh,
your
that's
fuel.
such a
That's
sad
not
existence.
what the Bible says.
Oh.
Unless it's sushi, then we savor every bite.
Yeah. Okay.
Sushi is interesting. I can only eat like
Friends, I'm so sorry, but due to our time limit, I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to
we
ask
gotta-
Evan to continue to answer his
We
question.
can talk about food another day.
two. Right. Yeah. Okay. Best family meal. I'm trying to even remember what meals we've had for like the past few days.
Yeah, same. That's how I'm trying
We
to think
had
about it.
we had Domino's. We had mac and cheese and cowboy beans. We had spaghetti. and
Ew.
meatballs.
No, I love cowboy beans. Yum.
Cowboy beans are really good.
Sounds gross, but it's really good.
I don't know if I know what they are. That's probably my problem.
Okay.
It's like beans with bacon and other beans.
Oh, okay.
And it's like
And-
But, like,
sweet, kind of like baked beans.
Yeah.
They're
I
a
don't.
little
I've
different.
never been a huge fan. I don't. Okay.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay,
keep
okay.
going.
Stay on topic. Evan.
Right. I don't really like them a whole lot. They're good in little doses.
Yeah.
Probably. What do we have? Oh, we had stir fry. I'm gonna go with I'm going with spaghetti and meatballs. Same as Claire.
Yeah.
Very
Nice.
interesting that we both had those within the same
It just
week.
hits the spot though.
Listeners,
oh,
Evan is
man.
Italian.
Garlic bread.
Wait,
Oh, my
really?
word. Garlic bread. Yeah. I'm
I
Italian,
know.
that's why I like them so
Oh,
much.
Garlic
no
bread
idea.
is so
Okay.
good.
For the record, I'm only like 1/16 Italian, so don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
right.
why it's funny to say it in that tone
We
of
have
voice.
okay. Okay. This is another topic for another time.
I
But
do
our
really
kind
like
of
Italian
group,
pizza.
our group has a lot of very small percentages of minorities mixed in with us. None of us actually are, but
It's a very white group, but
Yeah,
we're
it's
all we
very-
have a little something.
we have a
Right.
we have a little bit of spice, especially me. But anyways, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, Luke is extra
It's your turn
spicy.
though. So talk
Yeah,
about your
Luke.
Mexican
Well, I'm
meals.
not gonna. Okay, fine. So I am the whitest Mexican you've ever known. My dad is half Mexican and half Irish, with maybe
Wow.
replacing some of that Irish with 10% French. He doesn't know. So my mom is not Mexican at all, so that makes me 1/4. I hope you're doing the math at home. So I don't speak Spanish.
1/4 is 25% kids.
It is. It is. Okay, so I don't speak Spanish. I don't do any of that cool Mexican stuff. But I do like spicy food. I think the hottest thing I've ever had is it Carolina or California? I think it's a Carolina Reaper.
Carolina Reaper.
Yeah, it's Carolina
Where
Reaper.
did you even get access to one of those?
It was like
Yeah,
a sauce.
seriously.
It was like a
Lock those up.
sauce. It was so
He
good.
ordered it on Amazon.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it was one of those Amazon things. So it was like the sauce. We had the sauce in a chili, which is not Mexican. So I don't know if that
Chili
really
is really good if you have a good recipe.
It is.
Mhm.
Okay,
True.
I'm not going to get on a food tangent, but just know spicy food is amazing.
Yes.
So what was your
Anyway.
best meal?
So I think our family's best meal over this quarantine was, I think it was 2 nights ago. We I don't know if you guys know what this is, but it's chicken tiki masala with
Yes.
with
Oh, my word, that's so
white
good.
sticky rice.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
That
you
is
had me
Where's
at
that?
sticky rice. My
Yep.
gosh.
So
Mhm.
oh. Okay, guys. Just the reason I stopped cold there is because Zoom has said they've removed the 40-minute limit. They gave us this whole thing, so we're gonna
that's
keep
nice.
on riding to the sunset. Anyways, okay, but yeah.
Who
So
just bought us the pro version?
On our guys, we're riding into the sunset on our food tangents.
oh yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's-
Anyways. So unfortunately I came home late from the meal because I was at the field practicing for soccer. So I didn't quite get the full family experience. Everybody was kind of starting to move away
Yeah,
from the table.
that's definitely part of it.
But I was sitting there. I was kind of enjoying the meal. I was kind of watching my family do things. I think that's definitely our family's best moment so
Nice.
far.
He
Thanks
took
for sharing.
Oh, you're
a
welcome.
bigger perspective.
Yeah.
Okay,
Um,
finishes out with this question.
Yeah,
with this
so
answer.
this meal is the reason that I asked this question. I was just sitting there eating my burger, spoiler alert, and I was like, I was just like, Aaliyah, this is, I don't talk to myself in the third person. I don't know why I just said that. But I was like, this is the question that I have to ask. So we went grocery shopping the other day. Don't worry, I didn't even get out of the car. I just sat in the car and took care of my 3-month-old brother. But my mom went into our local co-op grocery store. It's called River Market. It's a great place. Highly recommend. And got some ground beef and heirloom tomatoes, amongst other things. But the heirloom tomatoes, really the stars of the show here. They were so pretty and so summery. And she made this first my dad actually grilled them out on the grill. So that was amazing. He grilled the buns. And
Whoa.
then my mom made this sort of salad that you could put on or on the side out of heirloom tomatoes, olive oil, salt, and basil. And it was so good. The fries were horrible, I have to say. They were a bad batch of frozen fries. And I low-key snuck those into the chicken bucket without people seeing. But the hamburger was just so good. Burgers just really hit different.
I know.
That's
They
fair.
really do.
Sometimes you just need a good burger with some fresh tomato.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we were all sitting down together, and it was just really lovely, and the sun was shining in the window, and I felt happy for once in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I liked that question. That was good.
Was pretty good.
Made
I
me
enjoyed
hungry.
it. Yeah, I did,
Thanks, guys.
honestly.
But I will say, I think based off of just how great our tangents were there, we definitely need a food episode in the upcoming
Yeah, I think so.
weeks.
Right,
That
yeah.
was
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
all
Okay,
right.
you want
Who's
to ask a
next?
question?
Okay. I think
Yes.
My
it's
turn, guys.
Claire. Okay.
This one, take it as deep or as shallow as you want to go, okay? Just
Okay.
kind of, this is your take on this question, okay? Tell us about one childhood book or movie that you watched a lot or that was part of your childhood that has influenced your personality or influenced your life now.
Mm.
That's a really good question. I love that. Okay.
Yeah, I feel scared. I'm like not going to do a good job or something, but I
That's
do
why I'm
really
saying
like
it
it.
doesn't have to be like something that has defined your life,
Right.
but just
Okay.
something that people might not know, or like a little quirk of your personality that comes from a
Okay, fun. All right.
or
Evan.
movie.
All right, I'm gonna say Curious George.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love Curious George.
Curious George was so amazing. Specifically the TV show,
Mhm.
because it's like you get like this chill jazz music first of all in the background of every episode, and this
Yep.
is the best thing ever because I aspire to be a chill jazz musician. And like yeah, the animation style is so nice and pastel,
Mhm.
and it's not annoying. There's no annoying songs with little kids singing. So my mom actually let me watch it because she didn't like SpongeBob. I didn't even want to watch SpongeBob in the first place, but like those sorts of cartoons that were just really annoying and obnoxious. Curious George was the
It's
don't
so
know.
pure.
yeah,
It really is.
it was the good metaphor in the sea of bad metaphors.
Yes.
It really was.
The use of primary colors is also really
Right,
impeccable.
that
I hear
is-
what you're saying about the
yeah.
pastel, but the primary colors are really excellent.
Well, just kind of like they're soft primary colors, not necessarily
Yeah.
pastel.
Not necessarily pastel. Yeah,
But like when I think
Soft
of
hue.
Curious George, I think of like that, like the deep blue, the reds, and the yellows.
Yeah.
right. And
I think
the-
mostly blue and yellow when I think about that show.
just
Yeah.
also the writing of the whole series was really great because they were able to do so much with it because they had the man with the yellow hat. He had an apartment in the city. He also had the house in the country. So they were
Mhm.
able to have
He must have
like-
been rich, honestly.
yeah, honestly.
Right,
Wait,
like-
did,
Who
did,
was
did you
he?
guys
We don't
did you
know.
guys ever
Yeah.
watch
I don't know the lore about it.
No, did you guys ever watch the Curious George movies that they aired on TPT?
Oh yeah, those are.
Yes,
See,
I did
those
watch
aren't even
those.
bad.
Those weren't
No.
those weren't bad, but they did get progressively worse.
The first one was amazing.
The first one was amazing. That's what really got me into
That was-
Curious
that was
George. And then I
magical.
started watching the TV series. Then after that was what even happened in the second one?
The second one
You
was
guys-
with the elephant, I think.
I did not
Or-
like
Yeah,
was that-
is
or
it
was
the
that
second
three?
or third one? Is it
the
the second or
third
third one where
is
there's
with,
like
the rocket and he's like in
Mm.
he lands in the jungle or something.
Oh yeah. That's the third one was really bad. I hated that one.
The
The
third
second
one
one
was
was
horrible.
still pretty good.
is
yeah.
the third one where like the circus gets involved and like the animation gets really soft? Because I swear, like I feel like there's this pattern where like they'll
think
take
so.
TV shows and then like they keep making sequels and then like as soon as the animation gets like soft and a circus is involved, I swear there are multiple franchises.
Really.
It's like that's how you know it's
Like
conspiracy
gone to
theory.
heck.
Madagascar.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's how you know it's and what am I trying to think of? Open season. Third one, circus,
Yep.
gone to heck. I mean,
Everyone's
actually
like,
no.
all right,
I can't relate.
we've become the circus. Might as well embrace it.
Yeah, we might as well
The
go
second
off with this
one, I
animation.
would also say the second one usually involves some sort of like tropical resort. Also an observation I've made.
Mm.
Okay.
High School Musical 2.
Country
Sorry.
Club.
I'd like to finish my reasoning on Curious George.
Absolutely. Go
Um,
ahead, my friend.
The last point that I was going to make was the fact that he has those two houses keeps it very open and not boring. So like, if you've spent a lot of time in the city, maybe it's time to take a few episodes and see what the Rankins are up to at their farm.
Mhm.
And like it's just and the characters just mesh so well together. They had a
Yeah.
really
Mhm.
excellent team of writers on that show.
Yeah.
And
True.
it's still a show that I would watch to this day if I didn't have to pay for a Hulu subscription, because who pays for a Hulu subscription?
Exactly.
A lot of people do, Evan. Because you know there's this thing, if you have a .edu email, you can get Spotify Premium and Hulu bundled in the same deal for like half the cost of each.
Well, I
So,
don't have that. So
you will in about 3 months.
yep. I'll be
So-
watching Curious
Okay.
George in the college
That was a
dorm.
great assessment. I appreciate.
Yeah, I really appreciate that commentary. You should do a long form commentary on Curious George sometime.
Sure.
I'm just writing
Hey,
down
Luke.
episode ideas, guys.
Okay.
We're back to you.
Okay. So if I had to pick probably a book or a movie that kind of influenced my interests and kind of my, I don't want to say ideals, but kind of how I think about entertainment, at least today, it's probably the book Aragon by Christopher Paolini. That growing up was not growing up, still is either my top two book is either number one or number two in my top two books of all time. So a little bit, if you guys don't already know, Christopher Paolini was homeschooled growing up,
Yeah.
which as a kid I always thought was super cool. Like, oh wait, I'm homeschooled too. I could be this fantastic writer. Oh well, okay. So if you guys don't know what the book is, it's basically about a 6-year-old boy who finds a dragon egg in the mountains. I hope you haven't seen the terrible movie adaptation. I apologize for that. But and then he goes on this like basically just journey of self-discovery about this essentially hidden world in his own world. So he essentially broadens his horizons. And
Cool.
one thing I can distinctly remember from reading that book was being, I don't know, even as a 10-year-old, being so impressed with just the writing and the world building that he did with that. I won't say it's not a Tolkien level. Nobody can match Lord of the Rings or Hobbit. Like that's just
But also, wasn't he like
lifetime.
19 or something? Wasn't
Yeah,
he like
super
really
young?
Yep, he was very young when he started it.
I've just heard he's a genius.
Yeah, he really is, honestly. But
And I mean, I have never read it, but I own the book, and like that thing's thick, and the writing's tiny.
Oh yeah,
He put a lot of work into it.
You should pick that up during quarantine. Just saying. But anyways, so I just remember reading it and just being captivated by the story format, the world, and this magical land, and how that's influenced my ideas today, even to write now in this point in my life. I am a extraordinarily long-term thinker, and I try to build a story in my own head for whatever I do with my life. So let's say, for example, I play soccer fairly competitively. With that, I've regularly not necessarily fantasized, but built a story around my career as if I was writing in the third person about myself. And I don't know. I just think that's something that is really cool to me, which the idea of building a world that is kind of something more than you, but at the same time takes place with you.
Huh. Very
I
interesting.
like that. That was a good. I was like, where's he going with connecting a fantasy book to his life and personality? But it makes so much sense.
Well, thank you. Okay, Aaliyah.
All right. I decided to just I don't know how I'm gonna follow that up, but
Yeah.
there are a lot of things that I can think of that are kind of more part of like our family culture, but this one feels like more specific to me. It was like the first thing I thought of. There's this really beat up book that I have, and it used to be part of a library, so like the plastic is peeling off, and it's probably from like honestly like 60s or 70s, like it's so old. And it's this picture book called Big Susan. And my grandma gave it to me, and we used to read it together when I was younger. But I just like loved this story when I was little. It was like so special to me. It's about this girl named Susan, and she has a dollhouse full of dolls that she loves and she takes care of. And every year on Christmas, one day a year, the dolls can finally move. And they carry on their lives for like just 24 hours, and they make it like so fascinating because like the dolls are like so excited, and it's just like so pure and wonderful, and the illustrations are super beautiful, and I don't know, it's just really sweet, and it's a great story. But it's interesting because I keep it up. I have a loft bed, and I like barely keep any books up there, but I keep that one up there because the night before like a big test or something that I'm stressed about, I'll like read it because it makes me like calm down and like brings me back to when I was little. So
that's really cool.
Yeah. They all get gifts from her too, which is really cute. Yeah.
Love that.
Okay, well, back to the original question asker, Claire.
I know. You guys are not going to be surprised at my answer, but I thought this would be a great place to explain my answer a little bit more.
Okay.
Because the answer is Matilda.
I knew you.
And
Yep.
there are obviously a lot of things I could choose, and I don't even know if Matilda's my best answer for this, but just in the fact that I've made that more of like, I don't know. I just really love the story of Matilda. I think, I really like Roald Dahl. He's one of my favorite authors.
Really?
And just because of the way that he takes really sometimes big topics, like heavy topics, but he writes about them as if he were a child, and it's a really interesting perspective that way. Also, he's just really funny. I really like
Mm-hmm.
how fun the books are to read. But Matilda especially, the two things that have stuck around with me now that I'm not a kid anymore,
Yeah.
are the power of education and Matilda's ability to find her family, like wherever she, not necessarily in her given family, but like in her world. So basically the idea of her reading as kind of an escape, but then ultimately as her way of, I don't know, like victory. I don't think that's necessarily correct, but just that whole concept is really cool. And then the way that she doesn't feel at home in her own family, and then also Miss Honey doesn't have a family, and so then they find each other at the end and have a family together. I just thought that's really great. And
Yeah.
just kind of the themes of adoption that he maybe doesn't handle super tactfully, but like at least he handles them, and I don't know, kind of gives some humor to it.
Right.
So it's just such a great book. And I saw the play in London, the musical. Amazing.
Oh yeah, Claire's a bit of a world traveler, by the way.
Yeah, she's very cultured.
Hate to brag, but I've been to London.
Okay.
So at least now you know why I like Matilda.
Thanks,
I'm
Claire.
sure there's other books that have influenced more, but yeah.
Mr. MG Group.
Oh yeah.
This is our last question. Wow.
Yeah.
Dang, I was going to think of a question while we were answering Claire's, and then I didn't think of one.
No.
Oh yeah, I
no.
did. I had one. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
I just remembered it. What is one thing that you hope to seriously improve upon during quarantine?
Oh.
Oh gosh.
Hard hitting. Why you gotta come at us like that?
And
Make us
maybe
accountable to strangers.
Oh, no.
And maybe I'll rephrase it to be a little lighter. What is one thing that you like? I guess I'll explain mine later once we get to me. But like, what is something that quarantine gives you an opportunity to do that you wouldn't have otherwise?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think I'm up first here. So I play soccer. I love the game. It's one of my favorite pastimes, favorite things to do. Pretty much the thing I want to improve on is my soccer. So starting, I think it was 6 or 7 days ago now, once we kind of got into the full quarantine swing here, I set some very aggressive training goals for myself. So right now I'm looking at training for about 5 hours a day because I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have as much schoolwork because it's kind of all sitting at home, which it always is, but it's a little different now. And I don't know. It's just something I haven't had the chance to get better at because our season schedule is insane. So we generally have training, like team trainings 4 times a week. Couple that with normal like life activities and school, I have maybe 2 to 3 free hours in any given day, and I'm too tired during those hours to get anything serious done. So I'm just really thankful that I don't want to say I'm thankful for a coronavirus or thankful for quarantine, but I'm thankful that I now have the opportunity to do things that I couldn't do before that I'm extremely passionate about.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm next. Okay.
Lace.
Yeah, that's how it's spelled. So I would say for me, it's kind of, I have a difficult time, even though like people do think I'm extroverted, I have a hard time with combining being out in the world and being social and energetic and going and doing things with more simple, like, daily disciplines at home, if that makes sense. Like, I have a hard time coming home and settling down and journaling and spending time in God's word and really not just doing my schoolwork, but like doing it well, like fully engaged with my mind. And I think that this is how senior year would have gone. The rest of senior year would have gone if quarantine hadn't happened. I would have been super rushed, just running to like a million different things, and wouldn't have had that same time to just like reflect on what God has done in high school. And I think that by just having so much time at home, I'm really allowed to like let my brain fully engage in my schoolwork, let my brain fully engage in like journaling, in my devotions, and in doing things that will help me to reflect. Like, we've been talking about writing letters, we've been talking about just like recording things and actually thinking through things in a way that we couldn't have before. I'm kind of tired, so I'm not articulating super well.
Right.
But
No,
yeah,
I
just
totally
engaging.
understand.
No, I
what you
totally
mean.
yeah, I get what
Engaging,
you mean.
engaging in like creative projects and just kind of a slower, more unhurried pace of life. And in a way, I'm really grateful for that. I think that I would have been happy too if I were running crazy, but like, in a weird way, I kind of needed this.
Right.
Yes.
And I think that you don't realize just how behind you are, like how much your soul needs to catch up, if that sounds weird, until you stop and you're like, whoa, I haven't actually thought about
And
the last
this
few months of my
this
life.
kind of whole discussion is a plan for a future episode. So if you want to hear more about kind of like the soulful impact of the coronavirus and how there might actually be positives for you as a person about it, subscribe. I don't know if you subscribe to the podcast, follow. I don't know what you do.
Like,
I
comment,
don't
and
know.
subscribe, please.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Oh yeah.
Links to the books and movies books and shows, I should say, that influenced our childhood in the description below in the show notes.
Okay.
Links in the show notes. I love that.
Links in the show notes. You guys are podcasters. All right. That took a little while, but whatever. Whatever it takes for me to work out my inner
I was
thoughts.
honestly going to say something similar because I really love a fast-paced life a lot. That's one of my favorite parts of life. But at the same time, like, generally the things I wish I'd do more of have to do with a slower pace of life. So I was going to say my goal is kind of to be intentional with the free time that I have that I don't usually have. And so one specific goal would be, I have a movie list that I'm trying to get through that are movies that are not what I would normally go for, or just they're more culturally important movies that I wouldn't necessarily pay attention to, or just like better movies, like higher quality of movies. So, and I just really enjoy watching movies. It's kind of my new thing. Okay. And all those video essays I was talking about before, they're usually about movies. So I have to get more so I can watch more video essays. I can relate to more.
Okay, honest question.
Those are such a good time.
Okay, is John Wick on your list?
Yes, it is.
Okay, because you need to get it done because it's It's amazing, and John Wick 4 is coming out this year. So
I know I feel like I have to catch up on a lot of things like that.
The listeners don't even know about our weird Keanu Reeves obsession yet, but
no, well, the listeners have a weird Keanu Reeves obsession.
Yeah,
it's
not just us.
It's an everybody thing.
Like, there's something about him. I would argue that it's because he's immortal, but I digress.
We need to do a whole episode on that, please.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
We can get into that later.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my answer. Movies.
Good job, Claire.
Nice.
I like it.
Thank you.
Okay, Evan, let's go. What you got?
So the thing that I have been doing over quarantine that I actually have time to do now is guitar. I mentioned this at the beginning briefly, but there's been this guitar. I'm looking at it right now. been this guitar down in my dad's office for 18 years that I always wanted to play but never did. And so now that I actually have time, I've been able to actually start playing it. I'm still really bad and I can't play anything on it, but actually that's been fun to learn a new instrument, because I've been doing piano for like how many years? Since 3rd grade. So how many?
9.
About
So
9-ish years.
Another 9 years.
Yeah. So like half my life I've been playing piano. And at this point I felt like this would be a perfect time to do it because of all the free time I have.
Mm-hmm.
Every
That's kind of
9 years.
The
you
guitar
start
is
Every
as
every-
old
9
as
years
you.
I'll add another instrument. Yeah.
Honestly, that sounds like a good idea.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll catch it
It's
on
like
my next
PewDiePie
night.
says. PewDiePie says you only have to be playing the cowbell. Imagine how many.
The Kelbo. Are you kidding me?
The Kelbo.
The fact that
The
he
heck is a
found-
Kelbo?
the fact
I
that he
think it was
found
that hard to
that
understand.
one specific clip where the guy was like, "Excuse me," it's like,
I know. Like,
I
we're-
know, right?
Yeah.
to play afterward. Like, I have no idea what that's from. That is not mainstream.
No, I think it is. It's the
Meme.
thing that's like more cowbell.
No, yeah,
I don't know
no,
if that's
it's the more cowbell thing. It was an SNL skit a while ago, like
Yeah.
a long time ago.
Oh my
But it was well
gosh.
placed.
Yes.
Oh,
And then she dumps that guy.
Flawlessly
And he's
so.
like, what?
Link to the
No, he
skit
played
in the
the
description.
Kelbo.
The Kelbo.
like,
The
the
Kelbo.
Kelbo. I'm more disappointed in myself that I didn't call it the Kelbo off the bat than I am that I even brought that up. But
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
whatever. Ugh,
Guys, we
I'm
finished
just
all the
sorry.
questions. Are we done?
I think we've completed
conclude?
all of the icebreakers.
Yeah,
We've broke
that's
so much ice tonight.
Crazy.
melted.
Sorry, we've melted quite a lot of ice tonight.
I know that makes Luke uncomfortable, but it's just more environmentally appropriate.
Mm-hmm. It's
Mm.
true. So
Okay.
I don't really know if we have a good way to end this, but we probably should end it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bye.
So
Let's just end it.
That's-
I mean,
That's how to break up with somebody.
yeah.
I don't really know if we have a good way to end this, but I think we should. So, like,
okay, honey, it's time to say goodbye and be done. Okay, thank you guys for listening. Appreciate it.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah.
so